Says there's 9 hours and 30 minutes. That's 3. Is it you connected to if you go to the original live stream, they'll
Can you check?
Yeah, it's new link.
Yeah, for the sound. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. We're going to mute the mic now for just a brief moment.
Everybody's attention again. We're going to start the program shortly, so that everybody could just start taking their seats and just move up as far forward as you can, because there will be a lot of people here to sit in the back. Also, we'll be starting soon, and there will be the information for Isham's Sonic Cafeteria, sharing his back partner, and we'll be having a cash donation box for that as well. So yeah, everyone, we can take their seats and settle down.
Yeah, you want to take a seat?
And if we could just keep it down a bit and everyone start doing our duas and prayers for Isham at this time.
Yes.
Yeah, because when my daughter comes, just make sure you pick up. I'll take that portion. My daughter is going to be reciting in the beginning.
Okay. We can't hear anything. Someone said they can't hear anything.
Alright, sweet. So just okay, so when you're done, just double check that this gets moved, that this is capturing the as well as like, the front row. Can you mute it?
Yeah.
Yes, if everyone in your seats, we're going to start our program. Everyone gets on phones, just make sure not to be while the program is going on. We'd appreciate that. Yeah, so bring up volume. Begin the program. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fahim. I'm Isham's brother-in-law. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us both in person and through the live stream for Isham Huq's Mahfil. Thank you to everyone that came yesterday to set up the venue. Many of Isham's friends came to set up all the chairs that you see here and clean the entire space, so they did a lot of work. They're here till basically midnight last night, so thank you. Thank you to all the uncles and aunties that helped both getting the venue and setting up all the food and the job and all the logistics. From the beginning, the community has really come together to give the website launch.com/Isham Huq. Otherwise, cash donations can go in the box in this table in the front. Thank you. In your seat, you will find a paper bag. It contains a plantable paper. There are small seeds inside the paper that you can plant in the soil, and we can plant different flowers for Isham. Reminder, we are streaming this event live, so we just ask that guests remain silent throughout the program today. Thank you. There is a small change in the program. We're going to start with a reading from the Quran, followed by a sermon by Imam Shebli, then a second sermon by Sheikh Ahmed, and then a dua. Finally, after, we will have memorial tributes, and then we will distribute to-go food in the back rooms. We'll provide directions with that shortly. So let's get started. We will start with a reading from the Quran by Maryam Masood. Please welcome Maryam to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا عبادي الذين آمنوا إن أرضي واسعة فإياي فاعبدون. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. كل نفس ذائقة الموت ثم إلينا ترجعون. والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لنبوئنهم من الجنة غرفا تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها. نعم أجر العاملين الذين صبروا وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. وكأي من دابة لا تحمل رزقها الله يرزقها وإياكم وهو السميع العليم. ولئن سألتهم من خلق السماوات والأرض وسخر الشمس والقمر ليقولن الله. عباده ويقدر له إن الله بكل شيء عليم ولئن سألتهم من نزل من السماء ماء فأحيا به ولئن سألتهم من نزل من السماء ماء فأحيا به الأرض من بعد موتها ليقولن الله قل الحمد لله بل أكثرهم لا يعقلون وما هذه الحياة الدنيا إلا لهو ولعب وإن الدار الآخرة لهي الحيوان لو كانوا يعلمون فإذا ركبوا في الفلك دعوا الله مخلصين له الدين فلما نجاهم إلى البر إذا هم يشركون ليكفروا بما آتيناهم وليتمتعوا فسوف يعلمون أولم يروا أنا جعلنا حرما آمنا ويتخطف الناس من حولهم أفبالباطل يؤمنون وبنعمة الله يكفرون ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا أو كذب بالحق لما جاءه أليس في جهنم مثوى للكافرين والذين جاهدوا فينا لنهدينهم سبلنا وإن الله لمع المحسنين صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, Miriam. We will now have a sermon by Imam Huq.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن سار على هديه إلى يوم الدين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. The family of Brother Huq, all of us sitting here in this room, allow me to greet all of you with the Islamic greeting and the meaning of this greeting to our guest, to say peace and the blessing of Allah be upon you all. And when we initiate this greeting in Arabic, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I like to talk to the mom first. She's sitting here the first time. And to say to her directly, face to face, in front of all of you, please, 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 and I beg you in English language, consider it today is the day of the marriage of your son. Who is the girl? Really, I don't know, but Allah knows. Is the girl living with us here in this room? No. But is living in the place as Maryam recite a part of the Quran Kareem, Jannat, paradises. Can we guarantee that? The answer is yes. How? Because everybody, when he entered the Jannah, he or she has a wish. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never let their wish to be down. And He fulfilled that wish to our young boy, and I'll give him the Jannah. Please say Ameen. They get the news, he was not. Then he arrived, then we attended the janazah, then we did everything Islamically we're supposed to do. But that kind of hurt is going to stay for a while. But how can we reduce it? Not to change it. How can we reduce it? This is the beautiful, in Arabic, Jameel, a beautiful sign, not only from the story, not only from the New Jersey story, not only from the Muslim story, but come to the stage and look at the audience to know who are we. We are the brother, we are the sister, we are the friend, we are the neighbor, we are the aunt, we are the uncle, we are everybody to be today with the family. And finally, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what I heard about the water, the donation, the box, name it, this is one of the three things. What is Fahim? You are going to repeat what you said. Not what I said, what you said. What Fahim said in the beginning, that is one of the three things will go to the soul of our young man. Imam, what are the other two? Maybe Fahim didn't mention it. The other two things are when the person leaves behind him or her certain knowledge. I am not saying Quran. I am not saying Hadith of Rasulullah. I am not saying to write a book about Islam. I'm not saying that. I am saying any type of knowledge. A human being can benefit from it today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, till the day of judgment. The reward will go to the soul of our young man. Did he left anything behind it? I will double check with his friend, Muslim and non-Muslim. Did you learn any from him? The answer is yes. Did you work with him in Pakano when you were there? Yes. Did he teach you something? Yes. All those yes, the reward will go to his soul. علم ينتفع به And finally, the Imam will do it, inshallah ta'ala, and all of us will say Ameen, and that is the dua. That is the supplication to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless his soul. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our mistake and his mistake, and we'll ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to replace our mistake with the good hasanat. يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ. Every single sin we do it here in this life, not intentionally or intentionally. And after we die, Allah will look at our record. Do I deserve every sayyah I did to be a good hasana in my record? Inshallah is yes. I am requesting all the audience, let us open our hand and open our heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pray on our behalf of our young man. May Allah give him the Jannah. May Allah be his family. And we say to the family, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم يا ربنا اغفر لحينا وميتنا. اللهم يا ربنا اغفر لصغيرنا وكبيرنا. اللهم يا ربنا اغفر لذكرنا وانثانا. اللهم يا ربنا من احييته منا فاحيه على الاسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفاه على الايمان. اللهم يا ربنا هذا عبدك وابن امتك تعلمه ولا نعلمه. اللهم يا ربنا ان كان محسنا فزد في احسانه وان كان مسيئا فتجاوز عن سيئاتنا وعن سيئاته. اللهم يا ربنا ارزقه من بين يديه نورا ومن خلفه نورا ومن فوقه نورا ومن تحته نورا واجعل لنا وله في قبورنا وفي قبره نورا. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. May I request all the audience to recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and we donate the reward to the soul of our young man, and may Allah give him the Jannah. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. صدق الله العظيم وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you. Now we'll have sermon by Sheikh Ahmed.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله علانيته وسره. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we are here today to deliver the good news from the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, with our warm condolences for Brother Huq's family, and with our sincere dua, ask Allah Azza Jal to forgive Brother Isham Huq all of his sin and to grant him al-Firdaus al-A'la. So we'll do the dua inshallah at the end of this short speech. I will not make a long speech. I just deliver good news, not from me, it's from Allah. So the first good news in Surah At-Tur, juz number 27 and number 21. What Allah says. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والذين آمنوا واتبعتهم ذريتهم بإيمان
ألحقنا بهم ذريتهم وما ألتناهم من عملهم من شيء كل امرئ بما كسب رهين. What Allah says in this beautiful ayah, the real believers, my beloved believers, those whom they have a family, and their family, they follow with them in faith and the iman. What will happen for this family in the hereafter? After Allah make the hisab, the accountability, Allah will gather the whole family. And we'll see which one of the family has the highest credit, the highest number of hasanat, the biggest number of good deeds. Say, for example, the son or the father or the mother or the sister, whoever from the family. And this one who deserves the highest level of Jannah, level number 7. He's very close to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's very close to Firdaus al-A'la. And the rest of the family, one of them in the grade number 7, grade number 6, or 5, or 2, or 3. Do you think Allah will separate the family or will gather them? That's what is the ayah says. Allah will gather the whole family. The brother, the sister, the mother and father on the highest of the one of them. So which one is the highest of them? Allah will gather all of them on the highest level of Jannah. So we ask Allah to make this beautiful family of Brother Huq, all of them on the highest level of Jannah. That's first good news. Second good news, our son or our daughter is the most beloved one to our heart. If they die, it's the biggest hurt. More than the father, more than the uncle or aunt or any one of the family, more than cousin. That's biggest hurt. Biggest hurt, I mean. How many times this hurt happened to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had 7 kids, right? When he passed away, he left just one. And the rest of the kids, the 6 kids, they passed away in front of his eyes. The people, they know Ibrahim because there was a famous hadith that came in Ibrahim when Prophet Muhammad was very upset. And the Prophet Muhammad he has this biggest hurt. But what he says, you imagine if you have 7 kids, 6 of them, they die in front of your eyes. It's the biggest hurt. And he says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Indeed, we are promised to Allah. And all of us will return to Allah. No doubt about the death. This is the biggest truth in this life. No doubt that the angel of death, when he comes to you, he doesn't need permission from you. And he doesn't need to send you notification in advance. Will come by permission from Allah, will take your soul, whatever you have. You have a good wealth, you have a good health, you are young, you are old, doesn't matter, it doesn't need. But what Prophet Muhammad told us, he said in the beautiful hadith, this is a good news for you also. He said, إِذَا قَبَضَ اللَّهُ رُوحَ وَلَدَ عَبْدِي. When Allah took the soul of your son, of your daughter, Allah, the one who sent the malaika of the death, Allah will ask the malaika and he knows the truth before he asks. He said, أَقَبَضْتُمْ رُوحَ عَبْدِي. Did you pick up the soul of my slave? He said, yes, Allah, and you know. He said, أَقَبَضْتُمْ ثَمَرَةَ فُؤَادِي. You take away his sweet heart? He said, yes, Allah. He said, what my slave says? When this situation happened to my slave, to my abd, what happened for him? What he says? He said, Ya Rabbi, حمدك واسترجع. حمدك يعني says, Alhamdulillah. This is the qadr of Allah. I believe in the qadr of Allah. And he said, استرجع يعني he said, إِنَّ لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّ إِلَيْهِ رَجِعُونَ. That's 2 words. What Allah will say to Malaika, He say, Go to the Jannah, build a big house in the Jannah for my slaves, the one who thanked me for the qadr, the one who was very patient on the qadr of Allah Azza wa Jal, the one who's still strong believer on this hard time. Build a big house, a beautiful house in the Jannah for my slave, and name it Bayt al-Hamd. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to build Bayt al-Hamd for you and your family. Say Ameen. This is also the good news from the hadith. The good news in the authentic hadith, that all muhaddithin, they say this authentic hadith, and Imam Ibn Taymiyyah here narrated this hadith, they said, Al-Ghariq Shaheed. 7 types of people, they are shaheed. There's different level from shahada, because the people, they know the shaheed, the one who die when he fight fi sabilillah, and he die, yeah, we know this is the main type of shaheed. But there is another types of shaheed. And the ulama says, is the same rewarding for those people from Allah for the shaheed. One of them, the first one in the hadith, the one who drowned. The drowned is shaheed on the side of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So we consider, inshallah, brother Isham Huq is shaheed, and we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to reward him the same rewarding of shuhada. This is good news, inshallah. He is shaheed, and Allah will build Bayt al-Hamd, the house of thank, the people who are thankful to Allah, the people who are grateful to Allah, the people, they can stand and they have a strong iman on the biggest calamity like this. So we ask Allah to give you more patience. And now, inshallah, we'll do the short dua. Ask Allah to shower His grief, and ask Allah to cover him by His mercy and forgiveness, to forgive all of his sin. Ask Allah to grant him al-Firdaus al-A'la. اللهم ارزقه الفردوس الأعلى. اللهم ارزقه الفردوس الأعلى. اللهم ربنا لك الحمد حتى ترضى، ولك الحمد ما رضيت، ولك الحمد بعد الرضا. اللهم ارزق أخوانا هشام الفردوس الأعلى، وارزق أهله الصبر والرضا والسلوان. اللهم ارزقهم الصبر والرضا والسلوان. اللهم يا ربنا باعد بينه وبين خطاياه كما بعدت بين المشرق والمغرب. اللهم نقيه من خطاياه كما ينقى الثوب الابيض من الدنس. اللهم اغسله بالماء والثلج والبرد. اللهم احشره مع الشهداء والنبيين والصديقين والصالحين وحسن اولئك رفيقا. اللهم ذكرنا بالموت واجعلنا لك من الموقنين. اللهم اجعلنا من عبادك المحسنين، واجعلنا من عبادك الصابرين، واجعلنا من عبادك الراضين بقضائك وقدرك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم قيض لنا من يدعو لنا بإخلاص عند مماتنا. اللهم قيض لنا من يدعو لنا بإخلاص وصدق عند مماتنا، وارحمنا إذا صرنا إلى ما صار إليه. اللهم ارحمنا عند قبض الأرواح، وارحمنا في قبورنا، وهون علينا ضبط القبر، وثبته عند المسألة يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم ثبتنا وثبته عند المسألة يا رب العالمين. واحشرنا مع النبيين، واجمعنا عندك في عليين. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Sheikh Ahmed. We will now start dua for Isham. So we already did, that's okay. Okay, thank you. So we're going to start with memorial tributes from some of Isham's closest family and friends.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for being here to join us in memorializing our dear Isham. My name is Ishaba. This is my brother Rafayat. My little sister Freya is also here, and as are my parents, Isham's Chotufuku and Fuka. We are Isham and Anita's first cousins. So we only have a few minutes, so I'm going to start by saying a few words about Isham, and then I'll hand it off to my brother to say a few things. It feels really weird to speak about Isham in the past tense, so I'm not going to do that. He might not be physically here, but he's here right now, and I know we can all feel it. Isham and I basically grew up together, despite not growing up in the same country. We're only 2 years apart in age, and because we have such similar names, Ishaba, Isham, we also share actually the exact same nickname. Ma and Mami call us both Yishmuni. I'm number one because I was born first, I'm the oldest, and he's number two. If we're ever in the same room together and one of our moms just so happens to yell out, Ishmuni, we'd either both turn our heads or come running. There was a lot that bonded us. We share the same music. We like a lot of the same things. We have the same sense of humor. But the most personal one was that we were kind of bonded by name. Isham is like my little brother, and the thought of not having him here anymore will pain me and all of us forever. But Isham also took any and all responsibility we ever gave him in earnest. When my little sister moved to New York for college, we joked with Isham and we told him that he'd become like her legal guardian. Most people would hear that, laugh it off, but Isham took his role as Freya's older brother very seriously, often checking in on her and often offering his brotherly services when needed. Even as a young kid, he took his responsibility to do his chores and his habits very seriously. One of my mom's favorite memory is of him being very clearly very late for school. He's crying, the house is in shambles, we're all trying to get our things together. Mommy's yelling at him, mama's yelling at him, we're all yelling at him. And yet, he turns around with tears in his eyes, goes to the medicine cabinet, gets his vitamins and say, I need to take my vitamins. Pops one in his mouth and runs out. It's safe to say that a fun family trip for us to New Jersey or New York will never be the same, but I will hold on to the memory of him and all the fun moments we shared together for as long as I live. Mama, Mami, Anika, and Fahim, we all love you so much. We will never, ever be able to fill the gap that Isham has left in all of our hearts, but I hope that we as a family, Ma, Baba, me, Farada, we can at least all help you build some new memories moving forward.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Rafayed, I'm Ishaba's sister and Isham's cousin. Like Ishaba said, Isham was like a little brother to us. Whenever we got together as a family, he was the one who brought the humor and the warmth through his bright smile and shiny eyes. For me, growing up with two younger sisters, Isham was a little brother that I made my own. We're almost 10 years apart in age, but I never felt that difference. The thing that I will remember the most is how he made us all feel. He gave the best hugs. He held my parents tight every time he saw them like they were his own. And he always did such a good job of reminding us how much he loved us. Standing here to talk about all that doesn't feel real. He should be here with us right now. We should be watching football and laughing about dumb things. But God has other plans for our dear Isham. So now let us all spend our lives making sure we're living to our full potential the way He would want us to. And a special thank you to the team who organized this gathering, and thank you Mama, Mami, Andika, Fahim, for giving Ishaba and I a chance to come up and say a few things. I'll just say something real quick off the cuff. So I was here 3 weeks ago, and my birthday was coming up. And as I was leaving, Andika pulled me to the side and said, your birthday's coming up, you should do something with the family, celebrate it. And she ended by saying that Isham would have wanted that. So before I get off the stage, I'd just like to tell everyone that while we should grieve, we will grieve, let's also make sure that we're upholding Isham's spirit. So if there's a party that's coming up, if there's some sort of a get-together, if there's something that makes you genuinely happy that you enjoy doing, you should most definitely do it because Isham would have wanted you to do it, because Isham would have done the same thing. So let's honor and preserve his spirit, and like I said earlier, let's live our lives to its full potential. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Those who don't know me, my name is Thini, and Isham used to call me Thini Mommy. My mother-in-law and Kayakala, Isham's Nanu, they're cousins, and that's the way I'm related to them. I did not really prepare any speech for today, so I'll just speak from my heart. So Isham used to call me Tini Auntie, but Babu Mama until recently, for the last few years, he started calling me Tini Mommy. And I loved the way he called me Mommy. I got introduced to Rumana and Ikram Bhai when we moved to New Jersey in 1996, and since then we have been together during our bad days and good days, but we kept it at a very low profile. Anika always had a very special place in our heart and will always have a special place in our heart. Isham was a cute, like very, very little. I remember he was born when I was doing my USMLE exams, and I was very busy. Time flies, and I saw him all of a sudden, like he's doing volunteering in CLP, and I'm like, oh my God, Isham, when did you grow up? Like, you're so big. And then few years later, I was like, oh my God, Isham, look at you, like, you're so handsome. And he started, laughing at me. I know Isham, he was an all-rounder. He was a great musician, a brilliant student, a great organizer, had great leadership qualities. But I will actually remember the way he treated me, the way he treated us. Most like everybody who's here, you will remember, when he was with you, he would give you, he would be the most important person in the world, and he'll forget about every other person. You know, his main focus will be with you, and I know that, he's here in spirit, and I could feel the presence. I will remember the way he helped us. He cleaned everything after Anika's bridal shower. I will remember when Fahim's parents were here on the Eid, how he helped me putting, the food and everything together. I will remember just a couple of months back when we were invited to Rumana's place, and he was with his best friend. I think, his best friend was having his birthday, and when Rumana called him that, your family is here, he actually left the place. He came back home. He spent 2 hours with us, and then after we left, he went back to his friend's house. So that's Isham. Anika, Hamu, you did a great job with this Sadaka Zaria, and he will remain in our heart forever young, and he will be very, very happy when he sees everybody happy and happily remembering him. And may Allah give sabr to Rumana and Ikram Bhai and Anika. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Next, we have one of Isham's longest friends, Naeem.
Assalamualaikum. Hello, everyone. Yeah, so I was told I have 2 to 3 minutes, so it's not really enough time for any of the stories I have about Isham. So yeah, I'll just tell you guys a little bit about who Isham was and what he meant to me. So assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to everyone in attendance today. Thank you for joining us in remembrance of Isham's life. To all of us, Isham was a loving friend, a lifelong companion, a trusty confidant, a smile when you needed the most, an athlete, an artist, a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. But to me, Isham has always been my brother. Since the day I was born, the thing that I could always count on was that Isham would be with me through everything. From growing up, discussing the latest episode of SpongeBob and trading Pokemon cards, to finding our ways through college and figuring out what's next, we were always able to rely on each other for whatever it came to. And we were always that unconditional friend that had to listen to each other's problems. From the hours we spent walking around Lake Papiani talking about our lives and our problems, to getting our Vietnamese coffees and sitting in one of our backyards talking about the latest issues in Bangladesh politics, to just planning and executing elaborate jokes on our friends to put a smile on some people's faces. We were inseparable. He was the only person that I wouldn't ask to stop singing on our long drives. And I'm glad I got hours of personal serenading from him while exploring New Jersey, looking for new Pokemon Go sightings together. Now my brother's gone, and it feels like a part of me is gone too. Our dreams of raising kids together to be best friends, growing old with our other lifelong friends, and changing the world with our radical and inventive ideas are gone far too soon. A lifetime of opportunities and dreams can no longer be. However, even in all my grief, Isham still managed to teach me how I could be a better person. I've learned to be grateful for the time that I'm given and to use that time to strengthen the bonds that I have with my friends and family. And I've learned to make sure to use the time to be the change that we want to see in the world. What I've realized over the last few weeks is that Isham is really the connection that kept so many of us connected together, and he created friendships that will last lifetimes. So instead of grieving the loss of our friend, we should be celebrating the impact that he's had on our communities and on us as people. We should strive to live by the values that Isham taught us: love, friendship, kindness, forgiveness, honesty, equality. And listing the rest of those values would take another 20 minutes, so I'll just keep it short. But if everyone was a little bit more like Isham, we would be living in a much more incredible world. So we should strive to keep Isham's memory alive through the ways we act and in the decisions or the choices that we make. With that, I'd like to thank you all for coming to celebrate the life of my brother. And to Isham, thank you for giving me some of the best years of my life. I couldn't be who I am today without you, and I won't let you down, brother.
Thank you, Mike. Next, we have another one of Isham's very close friends, Mahfil.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mahfil Hussein. I had the pleasure of knowing Isham for more than a decade. And I don't think I got the chance to tell him, but I really looked up to him. Isham was one of the most confident and kindest people I had the pleasure of calling a friend. And he was a friend to everyone. And I don't mean just someone you knew. No, he made the real effort. He got to know you, and what I admired about him most is that he was able to show anyone who he was. He was able to open up. Isham helped me through some tough times, but when it mattered the most, he was always there for the good times. Isham knew how to be there for you in a way that made you feel like, yeah, he knows what I'm going through, while somehow still shining a light on the positive. There was no question he always had everyone's best interests in his heart. Isham was very real like that. He was a genuine and generous person. And most of all, he was the type of friend that could make you feel accepted. Not a lot of people had that effect. I'm gonna miss the simple things, like joking around at the dinner table or just having the same reaction to the movie we were watching together. Or like last year, when I forgot to tell him about landing my dream job. He immediately reached out, and as soon as he heard, he congratulated me, telling me, this is the next big step. I don't know. So knowing that I made him proud made me feel like I achieved something that matters. I think about that feeling time to time. So I hope to carry his memory, and most importantly, I need to live every day to honor him. So I want to thank him for giving me the chance to call him his brother. And I want both his family and all his friends to know that I'll be there to make sure to carry his spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahir. Next, we have two of Isham's high school teachers, starting with Ms. Hanas.
On behalf of the Edison High School community, I would like to extend my deepest condolences to Isham's family, friends, and loved ones. Isham truly left a positive mark at Edison High, and we are deeply saddened by his loss. I first met Isham when he was a sophomore in my Algebra 2 honors class. He was such a bright, hardworking student and did well in math class. But I grew much closer to Isham during his senior year when he became a student council officer and I was the student council advisor. The Student Council Officers of 2015 was such a strong group of caring, responsible, and fun group of leaders. We quickly became a little family at school, and Isham was an important part of this family. Isham worked so hard preparing for many student council events throughout the year. I knew I could count on him to help set up for our many school functions and lead students to complete a task. One of my favorite memories of Isham was during our rehearsals and performance of Mr. EHS. Isham was a contestant in the show, and I was so impressed with his beautiful singing voice. He was so incredibly talented in many ways and was such a classy guy, and he earned my respect. After Isham graduated from high school, I'm glad that we stayed in touch. I was so happy that he came to my wedding and could be part of such a special day in my life. The last time that I remember seeing Isham was when he was at Rutgers performing in an a cappella group. I was so proud of Isham to see him thrive in college. Thank you, Isham, for having such a positive impact in my life. I will treasure all of our memories together. The greatest reward of being a teacher is to have students like you.
Good evening, my name is Kenneth Brown. I am the former choir director at Edison High School, and it was in this context that I met Isham. Isham, that picture that I'm seeing right now with that big smile that he has, that's what I got to see every single day that he came in 002. He was always seemingly happy. I never remember a time when he was upset or angry. Isham, he always sought to make peace between people. It is now that I'm here and observing the community out of which he has come that I understand why he was the way he was. Isham, he was a very, very good singer. And he was a tremendous asset to the choir. I used to always say to my students, always strive to be an asset, never a liability. And Isham, every single day, was an asset to the Edison High School choral program. He was a great student, not only in choir, but throughout, in all of his subjects, he took them seriously. I do remember when he graduated from Edison High School choir, he went to Rutgers University, and I remember the call that he gave me one day saying, Mr. Brown, I'm part of an a cappella choir, an a cappella group. And while I knew the choral directors at Rutgers, I didn't know anything about this a cappella group. So I said, Isham, can you send me an audio file or a video? He said, because I want to come and perform for the other students, but I wanted to make sure they were good. So I said, send me an audio file. And he sent me the audio file. They were amazing. They were so good. I was so proud of them. So they came a number of times to Edison High School and performed for all of the choir students. Isham had solo parts within that group. And of course, I bragged the whole time. I said, he was my student. He's now at Rutgers. You see, he's still singing there. And, you could do the same, etc. He was just a source of pride for all of us. Although I myself consider myself a man of faith, when I heard about this, I was shaken. It was difficult to wrap my brain around something like this happening to such a good person, but at the end of the day, I had to accept it. So there's a little poem that helped me to kind of make peace with this horrible thing. And it's a poem from Charles Spurgeon, and it says, God is too wise to be mistaken. God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see his plan, when you can't trace his hand, trust his heart. So I would just like to say to the parents and to the family, thank you so much for bringing into this world such an amazing young man. I'm proud and thankful for the time that I was able to share with him at Edison High School in the core program. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Next, we're going to have Isham's roommate, Johnny, come on.
Hello, everybody. For context, Isham and I had been friends since freshman year of university at Rutgers. We actually sang the same a cappella group, and he was a great singer. Thank you, Mr. Brown. And he loved old school Justin Bieber, Michael Jackson. He was still very in tune with new music too. And I could go on about his love for music and singing voice would bring up his piousness as well, but I think everybody's covered those bases. I had the pleasure of living with Isham when he moved to New York. Now, let me paint this picture for you. Two extremely handsome and charming young boys in the big city together with the world at their fingertips. All we had to do was just step outside. Despite that, we really, really loved to stay inside together. Now, our first apartment, has anyone been to a maximum security prison? That was pretty much what it was. It was like a jail cell there. And now think of that and remove any sunlight that comes in. We didn't have any sunlight in our apartment. And imagine some cockroaches. And now our cockroaches, whatever you're thinking about right now, our cockroaches were way bigger. And now you can add the smell of a rotting mouse in the wall and a constant gas leak. And that's where we live. And despite all that, I couldn't wait to wake up every single day. Because Isham was able to make it fun. When we moved in, all we had were 2 folding chairs as furniture, and not even beds or desks, and my back still hurts because of that. And every night we just stay up talking to each other, trying to make each other laugh, talking about pretty girls we saw on the subway, how we were too scared to talk to them, where we were, where we wanted to be, what we think our superpowers are. And we'd say something inspiring to each other, then I'd go ahead and start bragging about something. And then he'd humble me and bring me back down to earth, and I always needed that. But during these talks, we'd go all the way until 3 a.m., and we'd always say to ourselves and to each other, we can't keep doing this, we can't keep staying up like this because we have work the next day. And yet, we'd still do it every night, 3 a.m., just talk. And because of that, our empty apartment became the best place I could ever be in the entire world. Isham didn't need any bells or whistles or gimmicks to get you to smile. And he could also smile at the stupidest things or laugh at the silliest things. And I'd never met anyone like that before. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever loved someone like that before. We joked that at times it felt like we were a married couple living together. He taught me that you could have nothing in the world and still have something beautiful to smile about every single day. Well, maybe you need 2 folding chairs, but you don't really need much. And I'm so grateful for the past 8 years, and I'm so broken that there won't be any more. But the things he taught me about what I can do, the things he taught us about what we can do, and the memories that we all have together, I plan on sharing that and with everyone that I meet for the rest of my life. Until I see him again in that empty room, and we can pick up where we left off.
Thank you, Johnny. So one of the things that I've always respected the most about Isham was that at such a young age, he understood what takes many people an entire lifetime. Your time is the best thing you can give someone. As many of you know, when Anika and I got married, our events were stretched over about 1.5 years. So Isham was there for each and every step of all the events. When we signed our marriage certificate in the start of COVID, Isham was one of the witnesses. He was right there with us. Our very first event was a virtual nikah that, that was tricky to figure out. None of us had been to a virtual wedding before. We didn't even know if it was possible to set things up. We had 1 week to put it together, and Isham was like, yeah, I'll figure it out. No questions. He never complained. He never even asked for anything. He sat at that computer with the mic and with all the different apps for, not exaggerating, maybe like 12 hours a day for a week straight because nothing was working, and he just got it done. He just knew he wanted or had to get this done for his big sister. Fast forward to the night before our reception, and we had all these little things that had to get done and printed and whatnot. And we had like 6 hours to get it done, and guess who stepped up? Of course, Isham. He stayed up till 7 a.m., got everything done, maybe went to bed for about 2 hours. Then he woke up, sang at a reception, performed the dance, and he looked amazing in his green suit the whole time. Isham was always there, every family event, every birthday, every holiday, and he didn't just show up, he was also present, right? He was the best person to talk to, right? He was so genuine and very generous with his time. Just like people had said before, when you talk to Isham, you're the most important person there, and you feel that. You feel accepted, and you know that everything that he's saying is genuine. That was Isham. So to Isham, I know I'll never be able to pay you back for everything you've done for us. But what I do know is that I can live my life a little more like you live yours. Thank you. So, Anika would like to say a few words as well.
Welcome, everyone. Most of you know who I am. My name is Anika, and I am Isham's only sibling and older sister. His uncle. I want to start off by thanking everyone for being here and for the countless messages that I've received with stories highlighting my brother's amazing personality and soul, like we did today. I wasn't planning on speaking today, but seeing everyone here gave me the strength. And I wrote something for myself actually a few days ago. And I ended up posting that on the charity page, so some of you may have already read this. So I'm going to read that now. My brother Isham Huq was my family's pride and joy, and still is. 26 years ago, he entered our lives with that infectious smile that you see right here. Our family was incredibly close, always helping each other and staying in contact every single day. As his older sister, by 8 years, it was only natural that I took on the role of a second mother to Isham. He was also my number one confidant, and I was his. Truly, only after his passing did I realize the impact Isham had left on every single person that he's encountered. He was not only my best friend, but seemed to be a best friend to every single person I look around. He was everyone's favorite nephew, dearest cousin, most loving uncle, respectful neighbor, a memorable classmate, student or colleague, a roommate. What I have heard countless times in the past few weeks is how he wholeheartedly gave people his time, as you've heard today. He patiently listened to stories, spoke to strangers for hours, helped neighbors, kept in contact with people from the past and more than just on social media. He would always go out of his way to show up and be present. When you think of Isham, what comes to mind is a young man with many friends who loved sports, had a voice of an angel. But he was so much more beneath that surface. Isham would go to Jummah prayer no matter where in the world he was. Even if he was alone or he was with friends, he would find the nearest masjid and go. He would donate whatever he had in his pocket or let us know, hey, there's a new virtual way to donate. During Ramadan, he fasted every single day and always inspired us. He was also one of the quickest and most eloquent Quran students in his class as a young boy. Isham stayed continuously involved in various activities, from student council, food pantries, sports teams, singing groups, and many more that I'm probably not even aware of. He had a deep appreciation for family, no matter where they lived. You know, we go to Bangladesh, wherever we go, like he made this unique bond with every single person. It was amazing. He also had a adoration for nature, babies, and animals. So if you have a pet or a little baby, you probably have some memory of him interacting with them, taking a little picture. He loved good things. I mean, what can I say? Isham did not waste a single minute of his life. All of these years, I thought I had to lead by example for my little brother. But ultimately, he left me with the biggest life lessons: to have iman, to have faith, be forgiving, be humble, live life to the fullest, be inquisitive, and always, always be present in the moment. To my baby brother, my bhaiya, I can never fathom a world without you in it. And I know you are still with me, guiding me in many ways. I've gained so many new brothers and sisters through these last couple of weeks. Every single one of his friends, you are now my brothers and sisters, and you know it. I'm your apple now. I will do everything I can to take care of Mama and Daddy and the rest of the family. By the way, they are way stronger than we ever gave them credit for. And it's due to their faith in Allah and their love for you. I will forever hold our cherished memories until we meet again in Jannatul Firdaus, inshallah. With love, your Apple. Assalamu alaikum.
On behalf of Isham's parents and sister, they would like to thank each and every one of you for the support and love they've received from all around the world. It's a testament to the goodness that Isham brought to the world and how much he meant to everyone here. So thank you. After this event, if you are interested, many people would like to visit Isham's grave. The name of the cemetery is Marlborough Muslim Cemetery in Morganville. So if you'd like to visit, he's going to be in row 00. So there are, before you go, there are some 2 tables that have a guest book and memory cards. So the family would appreciate it if you wrote some words about Isham in the book on the left and on the right as well. In a few minutes, they will start distributing food in the back. Brothers can go through these doors here, and then these doors will be open for the sisters. Finally, thank you again for everyone that attended today, both in person and virtually. The family has been overwhelmed with all the support and kindness that the community has given them over the last few weeks. Everyone that came to the house, that brought food, that called, that just dropped off things that they needed, ran errands when asked. You don't know how much that means to us, so thank you. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, everyone.
We can. Yeah. You want me to tell them again?
For the food.